So I'm the peer support and trans advocacy coordinator here at Concordia at the 2110 Center for Gender Advocacy. Part of my job, there's two parts to my job. Part one is to make sure that the peer support service is offered to the student and to the population in general. It's not like counseling or it's not therapy. It's really like non-hierarchical peer people where you can make sense of your world and you don't have to worry about costs, you don't have to worry about judgment, you don't have to worry about a whole bunch of hierarchy, so you're pretty much in a safe place to be able to make sense of your world. So that's the first part. The second part is trans advocacy. So it's try to make trans right and trans awareness more public, or have trans get more services and have their causes known better. So one thing, for example, we did here with the help of one student who started this project, and we gave him a hand, was the name of community usage. So now students can use their name without necessarily having to change their legal paper here at Concordia, which is freaking awesome. I mean, they don't have to go through necessarily therapy and all the costs to get their name changed, yet they can use their name that they chose on their ID card, on roll calls, on their library books or whatever, and then they can just be a student and not necessarily be a trans student. Discrimination against trans people is rarely out there, out in your face. The thing that happens the most is people being outed. And being outed is, you go about your life, life is good, you're a trans person, but you're seen as either a male or a female, whatever you chose to, or your transness is, and life is good. And then somebody knows that you're trans, or sees that you're trans, or actually have an information that leads them to believe that you're trans. They will use that information and make it public, or they will say your name very loud, like your legal name very loud. So for example, let's say I'm trans, I was born a male, and my name is Bob. The professor in the class would call my name like Bob Bouchard. Right? Although they have a picture, although they know I'm trans, they would be very out there in putting my name, which then can put you at risk, right? Still hundreds, if not thousands of people who die every year because they're trans, who are killed because they're trans. So although the risk might not be as plain in your face as, oh my God, I might die because I'm trans, the fear of what could happen is still always present. This is a subject, and this is a subject that is still evolving. What do we tell our allies? What is an ally? Is family necessarily ally, or our friends necessarily ally? What do we want from them? What we don't want from them? What is okay to ask in general versus what is okay to ask to one person? I would say some of the don'ts right off the bat. Don't ask about genitals. Don't ask about genitals. Be super cool. Don't ask about genitals. That would be great. Do say where you're at. Listen, I don't know anything, so I might not ask my question properly. How do you want me to call you? Usually that's a pretty good one to start with, right? Do you go by that name all the time? What can I say? What do you give me permission to say about you? Some people will say, don't say anything. Ask questions, and before asking your questions, ask yourself, would you ask that question to anybody else? So I don't know you, right? But I won't ask you if you have a penis or a vagina, right? And I would ask you either. I wouldn't assume either. So if I wouldn't ask you, I sort of expect that you wouldn't ask me either. So just be fair in the questions, be fair where you're at, and that should make for something pretty cool. You'll be seen as an ally right away. See you at the Human Library.